Welcome to my quick game review of Star Wars Unlimited. If you're watching this video, you are most likely wanting to learn more about this game. You probably have heard this game is either coming out, it's already come out, you've seen it in a local game store, you've seen an ad for it, you've been recommended this video. Lots of reasons. But what this video is meant to do is to kind of give you an overview of what this game is, why I think this game is really, really good, and why I think it's worth your time. A lot of trading card games are really time intensive, they're resource intensive, and they're really scary to get into. What if your investment into this game ends up falling through? What if, I'm gonna stand up here as I do this video, but what if, you playing this game ends up being something that the game dies or there's not a large competitive environment? These are all really legitimate questions, issues, and concerns around trading card games. And so what I want to do today is I kind of want to talk about what this game is, why I think this game is absolutely amazing, and not just take my word for it, but show you why, explain why this game is excellent, why I think it could potentially be the next greatest trading card game to sit alongside Magic the Gathering. So first off, let's just start out with some high-level stuff, right? This game is, this is not a how-to-play video. This video is not going to show you how to play. But this game has a very similar vibe to something like Magic the Gathering, right? You have a deck, you have resources, which are face-down cards, which we're going to get to in a little bit. You have a hand, you have a life total associated with your base, and you have a color identity associated with your bases and your leader. Your leader is kind of like a commander in Magic, or, it's basically what you build your deck around. And this game plays a lot like Magic the Gathering with some other elements stolen from many other games over time. But I think they have created a game formula that creates environments where you never feel bad when you lose, and you feel amazing when you win. And you both have fun, you both come away learning more, and you feel like your decisions impacted your loss or your victory every single time. And that is something that helps people feel like, hey, you know what? This game is actually in more control than I thought, and you're not completely subjected to randomness or things like getting mana screwed in Magic the Gathering, where you can't even play cards. You can always play your cards in this game. Whoa! Thought I just got bit by a spider. But this game is amazing. And this is just like a high-level overview of what a game looks like as you start, right? So what makes this game amazing? So this game surrounds around something called actions. In a lot of games, they're turn-based, where if it's my turn, I get to do all that I want, how I want, when I want. I can move into what phase of my turn, where certain things can happen in that phase, and you might be able to interrupt me slightly, but mainly I'm in control. You can't do anything. This game is very different. This game is where you actually have a shared turn where you get to do one action. That could be playing a card, activating an ability, declaring an attack, playing an event, which is like an instant, sorcery, or trainer card from Pokemon, or instant or sorcery from Magic. And all of those actions are going to manipulate your opponent's board, your opponent's hand, your opponent's life total, or maybe your board, your life total, or your ability to counter your opponent. And so you go back and forth in this chess-like manner. And when I first encountered this, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I like games where you take your turn, your opponent can maybe interrupt you a little bit, but for the most part, you're going to take your turn, you get to do what you want. That's true in this game, and it's also not true. You take a shared turn, and it introduces amazing sequencing. It introduces play patterns where if I play this deck, I might play totally different. I might play different cards. I might resource different cards, which we're going to get to in a second. But the action economy is what the community has started to call it, where there are cards that let you manipulate actions, and so it becomes another resource in the game besides mana or energy or how many cards you have face down, allow you to play, etc., right? And so it creates amazing gameplay pathways where you are not stuck into one linear path, where you play this card, then you play this card, and you play this card, and you're going to play those cards that way every game forever. It creates pathways where every game feels genuinely different, and this game does that through actions. Another thing that this game does introduces additional decision making that puts the power in your hands. Every card in the deck is a playable card. It's also a card you can lay face down as a land once per turn. You and your opponent both do at the same time. And these, obviously, playing more cards face down allows you to play more powerful cards as the game progresses, or multiple cards a turn as the game progresses. But resourcing is such an amazing mechanic because instead of hoping you draw the resource like an energy in Pokemon or land in Magic, you get to decide what you are going to resource. Meaning, when you resource something, you are saying to yourself, I am not going to play this card. So it is a decision where you get something out of it by getting an additional resource for that turn, but you also lose something out of your hand. And this, again, creates fantastic decision-making where, I withhold something, my opponent resources a card, I play a card, and I've played people and they vocally said, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I've actually resourced the answer to that card. And that makes you feel really good, like you played around your opponent, and it even really skilled opponents can make mistakes. And that's what's amazing about this game is even a really skilled opponent can make a mistake. The game isn't linear in its decision. It's multifaceted, multivariated, and it creates exciting new experiences every single time you play. Another really interesting part of this game is damage. When you damage a unit or you damage a base, the damage stays from turn to turn. It isn't wiped. You don't have to retry and get all that damage. In Magic the Gathering, damage is cleared every turn, and that can feel really frustrating. And in this game, units actually attack units. So units are not just attacking, they're a base, and then your opponent gets to block what they want to block, and they get to decide. It's much more interesting where you get to decide, am I going to attack a base or a unit? So they flip combat on its head. And I really like that because units become a form of removal in this game, which means that you are always left multiple options to deal with what your opponent's doing. And that feels really good. You never feel like you're just going to lose the game no matter what. The next is leaders. Leaders are very essential to this game. They provide a color identity. So this leader is it's aggression and heroism, or white and red is what people say for shorthand. And this leader has an action. So you get to activate this action once per turn. This one does a damage to your base and your opponent's base, so each base. And they also have an epic action where after 4, 5, 6, depending on the leader, resources, you can deploy the leader. And what's really exciting about this is you get to use your leader as a unit and you get to attack with it. Some people fall in love with the leader that they like. They love the card design, they love the art, they love the mechanics. And you get this sense of almost like Commander in Magic the Gathering, but it's baked into the core game. And I think what they did here is really magical because they allow you to get things like color identity, the red and white symbols in the upper right, by putting them directly into the leaders, into the bases. And I believe bases are next. Let's pull that base in. Bases can be very generic, right? This one has 30 life total. It provides that color identity, so it allows you to play those color cards in your deck. And by the way, you can play any color card in your deck. You just have to pay a penalty of 2 mana or 2 resources or 2 cost for every symbol not provided by your base or leader, which again is genius. No card is off limits. Why make, if you're playing a red deck in Magic, you can't play white cards. Why not be able to play any card in the game, but just pay a penalty for it? Very, very exciting game design. They have also added bases that have once epic actions or actions you can use once per game. There's special effects that impact the board. And so you're trading off 5 life here for this base, but you get an extra ability. Great game design, amazing gameplay, and it allows so many decisions to be made in each game. The last thing here is sequencing and initiative. So in Star Wars Unlimited, you might be thinking, okay, if we have a shared turn, who gets to go first? Well, there's something called taking the initiative. If you take the initiative, you forfeit all of your further actions for the turn. But by taking the initiative, it allows you to go first during the next turn that starts, or next round rather. And this is a very important thing where you might actually withhold playing a card so you can take the initiative and get an extra attack in with your unit flying in space. And that's what's really exciting about this game is that there's actually two battlefields. There's a space battlefield and a ground. Ground can't attack space, and space cannot attack ground unless the cards say otherwise. And it's just amazing because now not only do you get to decide what battlefield you want to battle in, right? You get to decide, am I going to attack in that battlefield, or am I going to attack their base, or am I going to attack a unit? What am I going to do? And the sequencing of all of this, of all these things I talked about, again, creates a sense of pride when you sequence correctly and you are able to win a game because you decided to do this instead of that, and that ended up being the outcome for you. And it creates a lot of forgiveness for the person who loses, where they don't feel like they just got really bad draws or didn't draw their lands, or, you know, they still get to feel like they're a part of the game and they can learn from their loss. And I think that's what's really important about this game. So we're going to shift now to section 2, card design. What makes this game really good? They're incorporating things called typal, or formerly called tribal, where they actually incorporate cards that use keywords like rebel or imperial or force unit. These cards have subtypes that other cards reference, and this makes those cards really, really fun to play. And it creates this whole sub game or sub faction within the game that people can have an affinity towards rebel units or trooper. You can have your favorite. And I think that is a really essential part of a good card game. Next is events and units. I just love that events, the art is on the bottom. So when you're drafting, you don't have to like look at the type line and squint. You can just see instantly in the pack how many events are in the pack without even looking at the name of the cards. And that's a really interesting game design that they decided to do. And then units, again, units are so fun. Games that don't have creatures, units, Pokemon, whatever, they're just not as fun, right? Being able to have your units that are out and attacking in for massive damage just feels really good. And it feels fun. You know, you might have a favorite unit that you want to put in every deck, and people love that, right? Or you might see a unit and be like, that unit's really strong. And this is something that Magic does that I think is a great fundamental part of a good card game, and this game definitely does that. Next is the action economy. So certain cards can manipulate actions by giving you additional actions in one. So this card right here, Rebel Assault, it allows you to attack with 2 rebel units in one effect, and they both get a slight buff. That can be really strong because if you get to play this and your opponent can't respond because you get to resolve all of your actions before they can take their action, you might be able to attack in with all of your units before they can trade or kill any of them or remove any of them. And the action economy is an area where this game can really just expand the design. It's an additional part of the game that doesn't exist in a lot of other famous TCGs, and I think makes this game unique and quite compelling, honestly. It's something unique to a premier TCG, and I think they've done it really well. I used to be of the group that Magic was the best card game, Magic the Gathering was the best TCG ever, and I think it's an amazing game. But this game has introduced something that has made me feel like I'm playing Magic for the first time again, and it's absolutely astonishing. I think that this game, again, is going to be one of the greatest TCGs of this decade. It is amazing. I think there is a ton of room for exploration in this game, and the game designers have already designed out the next 9 sets. They already have the next 3 sets titled and ready for launch. And this game comes out March 1st, or March 2nd, rather, of 2024. So I'm going to go into a little bit of how you can play, but I think the reason why this game is so amazing is they're not just starting from scratch. They're copying known successes. Look at this. Cryptic command. Choose 2. Counter target spell. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Tap all creatures they control or draw a card. Now let's look at this Cunning card. Notice how the colors are hard to cast, right? Blue, blue, blue. This card is yellow, yellow. Here's one by Cunning. Choose 2. Sound familiar? Return a non-leader unit with 4 less to its owner's hand. That's interesting. That's what Cryptic Command does. Exhaust up to 2 units. Tap things down. That's exactly what Cryptic Command does. Discard a card. This Cryptic Command draws you a card. There's a lot of similarities between these cards, and I think that these game designers, they know what they're doing. They are taking, the best artists steal. Why reinvent the wheel? They are taking their own ideas and combining them with existing amazing mechanics from other games. Why would you not do this? They're doing it right. Let's move on here. Another reason why I think this game is amazing is card design. So these are all alternate art cards. They're absolutely beautiful. There's a collectability element to them. So again, collectability. And they are just beautiful, right? And then at the very top there, those are promos you can get for playing in weekly play at your local game store. This Leia looks amazing. Emperor Palpatine, people are ready to like pay big bucks for this card. It's just so cool. They already have alt arts and promos and the whole like, you know, finding your favorite art and getting into that specific, building a deck around your favorite showcase that you opened. These leaders that are here, the Leia and Palpatine, they're called showcases. They're alternate arts that are full art, foil, beautiful panoramic cards. They're going to be extremely rare, like 1 in 400 packs or something wild like that. And I think that this is a great mark of a good game, right? You can still play the game with the cheap versions, but if you want the really good ones, you're going to have to get the showcases. They're also doing hyperspace foils or hyperspace cards, which are extended art. They just look amazing. Section 3. Why do I think this game is amazing? They have some more support from Asmodee. This game is the biggest rival to Hasbro, which owns Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering. Asmodee, I believe, is worth 3 to 4 billion, and Hasbro is worth 7 billion. So these are both massive conglomerates. I have heard from multiple local game store employees that they can tell that Asmodee is supporting this game a lot. They're putting a lot of money behind this game, and they're kind of going all out. And that was from their own words based off how Asmodee has supported other games in the past. So this game is, you know, most likely going to take off. They also have really good LGS, local game store support. So casual play is what they're calling it. You can play at a pre-release. You can play weekly play where you can get those cool alternate art cards I shared. And you can also play in a store showdown. A store showdown is where you go to play competitively at your local game store. And if you win, you get really cool promos that look like this. Top 8, top 4 finalists and champion. You can also use your handy dandy event locator in this screenshot here to find a local game store to find a pre-release. I strongly encourage you to learn how to play this game. Main Deck is a YouTube channel that has amazing video on how to play. It's the best video out there, period. Definitely check that out. And you can also go to Star Wars Unlimited TCG or StarWarsUnlimited.com, and you go up to events in the top navigation here, and you can actually search your location in the United States to find a local game store. I don't know if this works internationally, but I do know it works for the United States. All right. Next is Star Wars Unlimited already has a Game-Genic partnership. Before the game has even been launched, they have official accessories. They got deck boxes, they got acrylic tokens that people that have them are like, these are the best acrylic tokens they've ever felt in their entire life. The deck boxes are super high quality. You know, wouldn't expect anything less from a premium product. They got play mats, and this game has just got the full support. It's amazing. They also have competitive tournaments, which I'm excited for. And they have these really cool names where they have planetary qualifiers, regional qualifiers, and sector qualifiers. And these can get you to the Galactic Championship. And you can get tournament points based on your final placements in these events that get you into the Galactic Championship. What's really exciting is in the first year, they're opening the Galactic Championship to everybody. So anybody can go and play. I'm going to be there. I hope to see you there if you get into this game. Again, they're giving something to aspire to. They're giving something for people to, you know, play competitively. Maybe they can make it. Maybe they'll get first place. Even if they they have a family and kids, it's still the idea that they can think about and dream about one day. And that's a great marker of a TCG. So the planetary qualifiers are store level. Sector qualifiers are medium-sized events through, and then the regional qualifiers are large-scale events. These get you the most tournament points and the most invitations to a Galactic Championship. Galactic Championship, they don't really have a ton of information, but I believe this says, yep, it's going to be the best event. They're going to have prize walls and things like that. Again, find an event near you at the bottom of this website. Go check it out. Lastly, Star Wars Unlimited is the 4th largest IP in the world. Star Wars. And so this game has got a massive franchise behind it. It's got amazing game design, amazing gameplay, and amazing support from corporate companies as well as Fantasy Flight Games, which has designed this game, local game store support, and competitive tournaments. This game's got it all going on. And I think that this game is not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to grow rapidly and be very, very... all in all, I think I'm sharing this because I'm assuming hey, what is Star Wars Unlimited? Is this a good game? I'm a harsh critic of games, and this game has me hooked. It has me in love with card games again. It's amazing. I would strongly encourage you go to a pre-release, learn how to play, give this game a shot. If you don't like it, that's okay. But you know what? I would put money on the line. I'll Venmo you $5. If you hate this game so much you think it's terrible, hit me in the comments. You got to actually show me proof that you played it. But I mean, I'm being facetious, but really, I think this game is amazing. And Star Wars is a beloved franchise, right? It's the story of good versus evil. It's such a great, great universe to get into, the legends, the books. And this game also has access to not just the movie canon. They have gotten full rights to print legends, Knights of the Old Republic, the High Republic, everything to the new movies, new shows, Ahsoka, etc. This game is going to be like the ultimate Star Wars game. And get on now, get into this game early so you could have the most fun possible. Get the cards early, because I'm assuming if this game takes off, these cards are going to skyrocket in price. Get in now and have fun. Fall in love with the new game again. Make misplays, screw up. It's fun. It's fun to screw up and mess up and be like, man, I can be better. And not feel like you've figured out a game and feel like it's something brand new. And at the same time, it's not just brand new, it's an excellent game for all of these reasons I've walked through. So totally check out this game. It comes out 2024, March 2nd, pre-release. Go to their website and find a local event near you and, just give it a shot. I think you will really, really love the fast gameplay, the complex decision-making that this game introduces. And I'm confident that, 3 months from now, if you've watched this video and got into the game because of this, that you'll be thanking me. And I hope that's the case. I hope I'm not wrong, but definitely check it out. And if you like this video, if you felt like the content in this video was really helpful and beneficial for you understanding what Star Wars Unlimited is and if it's a good game, please comment anything you think I should do better, anything in this video that I missed that you think makes Star Wars Unlimited a great game. And also comment, subscribe. Very cringy, I know, but definitely want to grow this channel and make Star Wars Unlimited content because I think this game's amazing. So give it a shot. Thank you for listening.